Hello, welcome back. In the past couple of videos, we've seen how to get information about the computer's operating system, hardware, and its network information. Now, in this video, we're going to see how to find information on things like disk usage, memory usage, and the running processes on the computer. First, to display the amount of disk space on the file system, we're going to use the df command. So I'm going to open up a terminal, and I'm just going to simply type df. We'll open that up. There we go. So right now, this output shows us kind of some used space and available space. But if you look, it says it's in 1K blocks. That's not really what I'm used to seeing. Instead, I'm going to check the man pages for df. So I'm going to do man df. And if we look here, description displays all of the disk space available on a file system containing each file name argument. Disk space is shown in 1K blocks by default. So I don't want to show it that way. So let's look at the options. If I look down here, there's an option TAC-H, which will print them in powers of 1024 in a human readable format. So I'm going to use the TAC-H option now. So I'll do df TAC-H, and it's going to change the behavior of the program. And we now see it in a format that I'm more used to seeing, right? And so it looks like I have on this little partition here, SDA1, I've used 33 gigs. I have 168 gigs left, 3.9 gigs, 3.9 gigs, and 3.9 gigs. In fact, let's just check here. If I go to my file system and I just go to properties, it looks like I have about 180 gigs free. 180, right? So what am I at here? I'm at 168, and then let's say 4 and 4 is 12. Yeah, so that puts us right at about 180, so that's perfect. But this is a little bit nicer because I can see how it's being broken down and the percentage in use. We can also look at our current memory by using the free command. So if I type in free, it gives me the amount of memory. But again, I think this is going to be in those 1K blocks. So I'm going to put this in a human readable format. So I'll use TAC-H. And you can see that I have 7.7 gigs of memory in total. I'm using 2.3. I got 4.8 gigs free. And shared, buff, cached, available. Maybe you're not sure what these headers mean here. So we could always reference the man pages. So we'll do man free. And if we look here in our description, we see a description of each of those headers. So we can go through and get a little bit more information on this command. So we'll quit that and we'll clear the screen. Another useful command is PS, which displays information about a selection of active processes that are currently running on your computer. Let's look at the man pages for this command. So we'll do man PS. And if we look, we can enter in a variety of options. So it says this version of PS accepts several kinds of options. Unix options, which may be grouped and must be preceded by a dash. So this is kind of, I think, maybe how we've been entering in our options so far. BSD options, which may be grouped and must not be used with a dash, so we haven't really seen that yet. And then here's a third option, which are preceded by 2 dashes, so we've looked at those as well. And so if we scroll down here, we can see some of the examples. So to see every process on the system, using standard syntax, we can type PS TAC-E or PS TAC-EF. To see every process on the system using BSD syntax, we can type PS AX or AXU. One of the common ones you'll see is right here, PS AXU or AUX. We'll switch the order of them. Let's see what those options are. TAC-E, we'll select all processes, so that's the TAC-E option. Let's continue to scroll down a bit and see if we can figure out what does TAC-F do. TAC-F does a full format listing, so it's going to give us all of the information on that. So let's quit out of here. And if I just type PS right now, let's see. It will give us, it looks like there's only maybe 2 processes running. Don't think that there's only 2 processes running on this whole computer. If you just type PS, it's only going to give you the current processes running within the terminal session that you're in. So it looks like I have a bash terminal running, and then I'm running the PS command. So for instance, let's say I want to open up a program from my terminal session, such as Firefox. And if I want to do this, all I got to do is just type Firefox. So I'll just type Firefox. And if I do that, Firefox should open up. And it does. Look at that. Hey, cool. And so I could go and surf the web. But if you look now, I've sort of lost my command prompt right here. So I can't enter in commands. I can't type PS and run the PS command. It's not letting me. So I'm actually going to close Firefox, and when I do that, I get my command prompt back. It comes back. If I want to run a program and keep my command prompt, I just have to use the ampersand sign after the program. So I'm going to type Firefox. Let's clear the screen. I'm going to type, actually, let's type PS. We'll look at the processes currently. And now I'll type Firefox and an ampersand sign. And look here, we got this thing 1, and then it looks like there's a number. All right, Firefox opened up. Beautiful. And so now if I type PS, there's a lot more processes running from this terminal session. In fact, right here, it looks like we have the Firefox browser. And here's that same number that kind of opened up when I hit my command, 10399. That value is a unique PID number, if we look at the header right here, which stands for process ID. The process ID number, or the PID number, is a unique number that's linked to the process that it is running. So if I close Firefox, these PIDs should disappear. And you see how they're all unique. And so here's the main PID that we opened up, Firefox, but then these are maybe sub-processes that were run by the browser. So if I close this now, all right, so I'll close this. Okay, and so now if I type PS, if I type PS, we see that all of those processes are gone. So if I want to see the processes running on the whole computer, right, not just in my terminal, I can use some of the options. So if I do PS TAC E, this will list all of the processes that are currently running on the computer. And it looks like, wow, there are a lot of things going on. I can actually type PS TAC EF to get the full format listing. And now we see even more information here. So if I scroll up to the top, is there some headers? Yeah, it gives me the user ID who started the process, the PID. I think this might be the time that it was started. Yeah, the time that it was started. And then I have what is this? I think this is like the command or the location of the process that's starting right here. And we'll talk more about that hopefully later on. I can do something similar with a different output. Instead of using the tax, I can just type AUX, PS AUX, and it will give me all of the processes as well. So that's the different kind of option parameter here. It also shows me maybe how much CPU and how much memory when I use PS AUX. That's nice. It shows me the amount of CPU and amount of memory that they're using, these processes are using at this time. So maybe like something's bogging down. Look at that, 81.8%, 26.8. My GNOME shell is using up a lot of my resources. Now, PS will give us a snapshot of the processes that are running, but if we want a dynamic look, one that updates in real time, we can use the top command. So I'm going to clear the screen, and I'm going to type top. Top provides a dynamic real-time view of running the system, and it's going to list our processes based on their CPU usage. And so, yeah, right now I am overexerting my CPU right now, probably because I'm recording video as well as running all of this stuff. So that's probably what's happening there. Hopefully my computer doesn't catch on fire and sort of blow up. But you can see how this is updating in real time. And we have some statistics here at the top, like our tasks, 172 total tasks, 1 running, 171 sleeping, etc. So let's actually, let's open up a web browser. Let's open up Firefox. All right, and I'm going to see how Firefox is affecting our system. So here is the Firefox ESR, right? There's the PID for that. It looks like the stuff on that is, well, it's fluctuating, right? Sometimes we're using some of these resources, sometimes we are not. So web extension, there it is. I see Firefox ESR down here. The PID is 11831. So 11831. Now we can use that process ID to reference the process in other commands, such as maybe the kill command. So I'm actually going to stop this and clear this. And so I'm just going to type PS, TAC EF, and let's look at that Firefox browser. What did I say? 11831. So here it is. Okay, there's the process that's running the browser. And you can kind of see the browser open in my background. And so in the past, we've gone and we just closed that browser manually, but that's kind of like a GUI way of doing things, right? Point and click. We can actually close the browser or kill the browser right from the command line. So if we type, let's check the man pages for the kill command. And if we do this, it says kill, send a signal to a process. So the synopsis here is kill, there takes some options, and then it requires a PID or a process ID for the program that you want to kill. And so then there's some options here. We're just going to use the default option. So if I type kill, and then I put the process ID for the browser, 11831, 11831, when I click enter, we should hopefully close the browser. We're going to kill it. So let's launch in the background here when I click enter. And there we see it. That process is killed. And so if I type PS TAC EF again, I shouldn't see the Firefox browser here anymore. And it's not. So I know for certain that it's not using up any of my system resources. So far, we've spent some time getting acquainted with the terminal, some basic information commands, and how to use the help documentation in the man pages, which is very important as we move forward. You're never going to remember everything about these Linux commands, so you're always going to have to be referencing the manuals and the help documentation to look things up. I think this is a great starting point for getting familiarity with Linux and terminal interactions, and it's going to be a wonderful jumping point as we move forward in this course. I'll see you in the next video.